Hi, I'm Michelle Begue with a look at what's happening in Latin America now. But first, our news trivia. Which Latin American country has a popular folk dance where performers balance bottles on top of their heads? We'll have the answer later. My colleague Dan Collyns was in Ecuador covering the special elections, and he has this special report.
Michelle, Daniel Noboa, the millennial heir to a banana fortune, will become Ecuador's youngest ever president, winning by a margin of around 4 points over his leftist rival, Luis González. The 35-year-old businessman pledged to work for a new Ecuador on Sunday as supporters celebrated his victory. For her part, Luis González, in accepting defeat, said she would back her rival in parliament, where his party holds just 10% of 137 seats. The son of Ecuador's richest man and five-time presidential candidate Álvaro Noboa, the new president-elect is popular with younger voters for his calm and unconfrontational style. But Noboa will face a tough challenge, battling a massive spike in violent crime fueled by drug trafficking and improving the country's stagnant economy, which has struggled since the coronavirus pandemic. With around a third of Ecuadorians living in poverty and many thousands choosing to migrate, his pledge to create jobs and energize trade will create big expectations. Taking office later this year, Noboa will only govern for about a year and a half until May 2025. He will complete the term of outgoing President Guillermo Lasso, who called snap presidential and legislative elections after dissolving the National Assembly in May during an impeachment trial.
And now we go to Argentina, where citizens will also be electing their new president this coming weekend. Polls show the libertarian candidate Javier Milei is in the lead for the October 22nd presidential vote. But the other two candidates cannot be discarded, as 3 surveys indicate it will be a tight race. Economy Minister Sergio Massa and conservative opposition candidate Patricia Bullrich are also in the running. Polls show the 3 candidates are within a 10-point range. Experts say there will most likely be a runoff vote, as none of the candidates seem to have a majority to win. Argentina is going through a deep economic crisis that has plunged 2 in every 5 citizens below the poverty line. This year, Brazil lived through the warmest winter it's had since 1961, and now the spring months are not giving any relief from the heat. Drought is worsening due to the El Niño weather phenomenon, and rainfall is below average. All of it is being aggravated by deforestation in the Amazon. Brazil's government told ranchers and farmers to stop setting fires in the rainforest during this climate emergency. Clouds of dense gray smoke from fires in the Amazon are hitting the northern city of Manaus and making the air unbreathable. Environment Minister Marina Silva emphasizes that these are not wildfires. They are being started by people setting fires to public and private areas to clear land for cattle and commercial crops. And let's check out how Central and South America experienced the rare celestial spectacle of the solar eclipse. This image is caught from a telescope in the Panamanian city of Penonomé. The moon passed between the sun and the earth at its furthest point from our planet, creating that ring of fire. These are images of hundreds of people gathered in Nicaragua on Saturday at a Managua school to view the solar eclipse. In Cali, Colombia, some citizens used boxes with special filters to view the astronomical event safely. The ring of fire won't be seen again in this part of the world until 2046. And now let's check out what stories we're following for next week. We're following the trial of former president of Peru, Alejandro Toledo, who's being accused of corruption. The 77-year-old politician, who was the president of Peru from 2001 until 2006, appeared via video link from prison. He faces charges for allegedly receiving millions of dollars in bribes from the Brazilian construction company Odebrecht in one of the largest corruption scandals in history. If Toledo is found guilty, he could be sentenced to up to 20 years in prison. And now the answer to our news trivia. The answer is B. La danza de la botella, or bottle dance in English, is a dance native to Paraguay. Although its origins are unclear, the traditional folk dance is performed by women dancing with bottles on top of their heads. The top bottle displays the country's flag in the form of a ribbon, which is tied to it. This year, Paraguay wanted to launch the first edition of the National Day of the Bottle of Women to pay tribute to these dancers. They did so with 580 women balancing a total of 2,200 bottles on their heads at the same time at the Bicentennial Park in Asunción. And that's it for this week. We'll see you again soon on Latin America Now.